In the forgotten days of legend, the Aurelians built an empire that dominated much of the known world. The Aurelians knew no rivals at the apex of their power, and their focus waned with no threats to hone them. They grew decadent then. In their hedonistic pursuits, forbidden rites, and pleasure slayings, they nurtured the seeds of nightfall upon their domain. Within this new zeitgeist, Stoic philosophy was replaced with madness and a gleeful race to damnation and ruin. In the wake of this frenzy, all they had built was soon devoured by the encroaching darkness they had summoned. Within half a generation, their once gleaming kingdom was eaten alive. By swamp and bog, the people vanished, and in their wake emerged new horrors to occupy and hunt within the shadows of the city's sunken corpse. And so the Aurelian capital became the Black Mire, a cursed swamp in the south, home to witches and undead horrors, as well as treasures from the empire's era. The emergence of the Black Mire is viewed by many as a sign of the empire's sin. At certain alignments of the stars and planets, it is whispered that skeletal legions in rusted armor can be heard marching through the marsh. Hidden elsewhere among the floodwaters and mud are half-toppled towers wherein magical relics from the empire's past are buried and forgotten, yet guarded by unseen eyes. 300 years later. In time, the doom of the Aurelians was largely forgotten, and the once subjugated peoples in all directions of ruined Aurelia became separated once more into warring clans and tribes. It was a dark time, a time of mistrust, of war and uncertainty, wherein factions of all shapes vied for power within the chaos left behind the Aurelians' fall. In the north, the people of Vul made what life they could in their ancestral homeland, returning to old feuds and older rites for survival. A hardy people, they welcomed the doom of their old masters, preferring to roll their own dice against fate. In time, one warlord emerged ahead of the others in the dark age that now shaped the land. He was called Wolfram the Red Hand, and by his will was the kingdom of Vul established. Therein he created a bastion of order for the struggling descendants of the northern lands and, for a time, brought peace to Vul. But the people of Vul craved more than peace. So came the call for the familiar ways they had learned from the Aurelians. Thus, the Holy Church of Radiant Flame was reborn. The Radiant Church, led by the High Flame Council, directs spiritual matters among the people and places a counter of power upon the crown. Claiming to be a force of unity, purity, and salvation, the clerics, priests, and militant paladins of this order guides the spiritual lives of the Vulish people. The power of the state and the clergy has grown for 3 generations now. From this union came the building of the great city of Highcrest, the iron capital of the north. Highcrest is the seat of power in the kingdom of Vul. It is a cold land of black forests, sharp mountain crags, and misty rivers. Stone keeps and wooden villages dot the land with older imperial roads falling into ruin. A dark place, full of secrets and old memories. This is the ancestral home of barbarian Vulish tribes. Their descendants are the Vuls, a stoic militant people which venerate the values of their wild ancestors, while also embracing the holy church of the Radiant Flame, praying to it faithfully under the watchful eyes of its clergy. Nevertheless, beneath the devotion of the Vulish people lies a deep-seated adherence to the pagan ideals of their barbarian past. Some old songs never die. Highcrest, tarnished jewel of the north. Highcrest, a place to lose oneself in the crowd, where the guilds of gold and iron rule commerce within the city. This place is home to militant orders, mercenary companies, guilds of thieves and assassins, and every imaginable vice. Lives are swallowed in this place, but are also forged anew. Beyond the city of Highcrest lay the Rhymecrest Mountains. These mountains are rumored to harbor giants, dragons, and many other feral folk, as well as the secluded and secretive dwarven strongholds. The Vuls do not visit this place lightly. Though lucrative commerce with the dwarves occasionally prods them to venture here, it is considered a place of death to the Vuls, and they tread here only with purpose, wary of the dangers that live here. At the base of the Rhymecrest Mountains, the Wardens of Rhymecrest operate under orders from the king, hunting monsters and serving as the eyes of the realm. They seldom visit civilization and are selective about what company they traffic with. Despite the order and relative peace the kingdom has enjoyed, the Vuls still contend with an unceasing flow of horrors, mutating plagues of undeath, dark magic from witches and rogue wizards, as well as many unnatural beasts and horrors in the shadows. To combat these terrors, the Church sanctioned the Order of the Flame Oath. This order of paladins is charged with purging the realm of all that which is unholy and unclean, wherever it may lie. Magic in Vul is feared and heavily regulated. A cabal of sorcerers called the Vigilant Order once worked under the Empire, but is now scattered. Whispers suggest their remnants may be resurfacing. Officially, practitioners of magic are required to be licensed and managed by officials of the Church of the Radiant Flame, lest they be labeled as heretics. In the shadows, their studies continue. Currently, the crown is weak. The Wolfram dynasty is positioned to collapse, along with its descendants. King Edwin III, known as the Pale, is gravely ill and lies gasping for breath in his bed, while his two heirs, ambitious Prince Ulrich and devout Princess Fiora, vie for power. The noble houses of Highcrest are divided, with some calling for a council to choose a new king. Tensions rise, as at court, as the city looks elsewhere. And while the politics of Highcrest keep the eyes of the nobility occupied, savage raiders from the fjords of Iskarn ravage the coastal towns and villages of Vul, carrying away plunder and slaves on their black dragon ships. The coasts are under constant threat from seafaring Iskarn raiders who strike without warning. Rumors spread of an Iskarn chieftain who wields an axe said to devour souls. The Iskarns are an ancient cousins to the modern Vulish people who at one time worshipped the same blood-stained gods as they. Amid all of this, you have come to Highcrest during a time of festival and revelry. The Feast of Embers is an annual celebration marking the Empire's fall and Vul's independence. It is a night of feasting and revelry, but also a grim reminder of the Empire's ghosts. Amid the general festivities in the city of Highcrest is a great ceremony known as the Ember Purge, a fiery rite conducted by clerics of the Radiant Flame who, after much ceremony, assemble the current population of the royal dungeons in the market square, where the current prisoners are either publicly pardoned or purged with fire. And so, finally, your story begins here. In the darkness of the royal dungeons, beneath the great cathedral of Aethra, in the sprawling city of Highcrest, during the height of the Feast of Embers. Above, the city is alive with revelry, bonfires crackling in every square, and processions of chanting priests carrying torches through the streets. Below, however, the air is rank with damp stone and despair as prisoners await their fate. You and a handful of other prisoners share a dank cell deep within the dungeon. Each of you has a story, a fall from grace, an accusation, or a failure that has brought you here. Yet your presence is no mere coincidence. Perhaps you were once a commoner, a thief, a secretive wizard, or a knight of the flame oath. Now you are as a lamb to the slaughter, awaiting the flaming pyres above. All of you were arrested on the orders of the High Flame Council. The accusations levied against you are as varied as your backgrounds: heresy, conspiracy, theft from the church, or defiling a sacred artifact. Yet the real reason for your imprisonment is a shared secret none of you fully understand. Regardless, tomorrow at dawn you are to be burned alive in a ceremonial pyre in the cathedral square as part of this festival's climactic final rites. And now it is for you to decide who you are in this world at this time. Who are you?